Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zishan. This is really Rashiwala from AI, Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute, Batch 21. Today, I'm going to discuss with GPT how to master the art of negotiation in daily life. It will not only cover the business real estate, but all other daily aspects. So, let me help welcome GPT. Hey, good morning, GPT.
Good morning, Zeshan. I'm really glad to be part of this. I'm ready to dive in and give you some solid strategies and examples. What's the first angle or scenario you want to look at? Maybe a specific negotiation type or a particular challenge you face?
Well, my first question is what does winning a negotiation really mean? Getting your way or finding mutual value?
That's a great question, and it's really important to be clear about this. Winning a negotiation isn't just about getting your way, it's about creating mutual value so both parties feel satisfied. For example, in a real estate deal, a win for you might be a fair price, but a win for the other party might be a quick closing or flexible terms. When both sides feel like they gain something, that's where long term trust and success grow.
How often do we negotiate without even realizing it in our daily lives?
All the time. Think about it when you're deciding on meeting times, splitting a bill, even negotiating with your kids about bedtime. You're constantly balancing interests. The key is just being more intentional so you can steer those interactions toward win win outcomes, even in small moments.
What is the biggest mistake people make when negotiating?
One of the biggest mistakes is going in too focused on a single outcome, like just getting the lowest price or winning at all costs. That often shuts down collaboration. Instead, people should focus on listening closely to the other side's needs. Once you understand those, you can create options that satisfy both sides, which makes the deal stronger.
Okay. Is negotiation a skill you are born with or one you can learn and master?
You can absolutely learn and master it. While some people might have a natural knack for persuasion, negotiation is really a set of techniques you can practice. Things like active listening, preparing your partner, your best alternative, and staying calm under pressure. With effort, it really becomes second nature.
How important is listening compared to speaking in a negotiation?
Listening is absolutely crucial. Listening is absolutely crucial. In fact, it often outweighs speaking. When you listen carefully, you uncover what the other party truly values and you can respond more effectively. It also builds trust. People feel heard, and that opens up room for collaboration and creative solutions.
What role does emotional intelligence play in successful negotiation?
Emotional intelligence is a game changer. It helps you read the emotional cues, stay calm, and manage your own reactions. When you understand both your emotions and the other person's, you can respond thoughtfully, diffuse tension, and keep the conversation moving toward a positive outcome.
How can you stay calm and confident during a tense negotiation?
A great approach is to prepare thoroughly in advance, know your key points and your walkaway terms. Then focus on your breathing. Slow, steady breaths help you stay calm. And remind yourself that confidence isn't about being aggressive, it's about being clear, steady, and open to possibilities.
When should you walk away from a negotiation instead of pushing harder?
You should walk away when the deal no longer serves your interests or when you realize that you can't achieve a minimum acceptable outcome. If you start compromising on your core needs or the other party's being unreasonable, that's the sign. Walking away protects your long term position and often gives you more leverage down the line.
How do you handle someone who refuses to compromise?
When someone refuses to compromise, stay calm and ask open ended questions to understand their perspective better. Sometimes they have underlying concerns they haven't expressed. If they still won't budge, you can either table the negotiation for a later time or refocus on a more creative solution, something that meets both your needs indirectly.
And what techniques can help you build trust quickly in negotiation?
One powerful technique is being transparent. Share your motivations and constraints openly. Also, follow through on your commitments, even small ones, so your integrity is evident. And take a genuine interest in their perspective. When people feel valued and heard, trust forms much faster.
Okay. And how can body language influence the outcome of negotiation?
Body language is huge. Open, relaxed posture signals confidence and trustworthiness, while things like avoiding eye contact or crossing your arms can create tension. Mirroring their movement subtly can also build rapport. So, staying aware of both your and their body language keeps the dynamic positive and productive.
What is the difference between persuasion and manipulation?
That's a really important distinction. Persuasion is about presenting your case honestly, appealing to reason and respecting the other person's choices. Manipulation, on the other hand, it relies on deception or pressure to get your way. Persuasion keeps the relationship intact, while manipulation erodes trust.
Okay, now how do you negotiate effectively with friends or family without damaging relationships?
The key is to keep the lines of communication open and to keep it collaborative. Start by affirming the relationship, make it clear that you value them. Use I statements to express your needs and stay open to brainstorming solutions together. That way, even if you disagree, the respect stays intact.
And what are some everyday situations where negotiation skills can make a big difference?
Oh, tons of them. For instance, negotiating a salary or job benefits, talking about a lease or rent price, even deciding on household chores or daily routines. Anytime you're balancing different interests, those skills come into play.
And how can preparation change the outcome of a negotiation?
Preparation is a game changer. When you know your goals, the other party's likely interests, and you have a clear idea of your walkaway terms, you can steer the conversation confidently. Preparation reduces surprises, boosts your credibility, and keeps you flustered, which all drives a better outcome.
Awesome. And what is the power of asking the right questions during a negotiation?
Asking the right question. Exactly. It's like unlocking the hidden layers of the negotiation. When you ask thoughtful, open questions, you get the other person talking about their priorities, their constraints, and what they really care about. That insight gives you a strategic advantage, and often it helps you co create a solution that works better for both sides.
Okay. And how do cultural difference impact negotiation styles?
Cultural differences can have a big impact. For example, some cultures value direct, assertive communication, while others emphasize harmony and indirectness. If you don't adapt, you can misinterpret signals or come across as rude. So, being culturally aware and flexible in your style helps you build trust and keep things productive.
Okay. Can silence be a powerful tool in negotiation? How?
Absolutely. Silence can create space for reflection, which often prompts the other person to fill the gap, sometimes revealing more than they intended. It also shows confidence and patience, so don't be afraid to let a moment of silence hang. It can shift the dynamic.
And how do you deal with pressure tactics or aggressive negotiators?
When you face pressure or aggression, stay grounded. Keep your tone calm and don't rush. Acknowledge their concerns but reiterate your boundaries. You can also take a pause, ask for time to think, or come back with a response. That keeps you from being rushed and lets you maintain control.
What mindset shifts is needed to become a better negotiator?
A big shift is moving from a scarcity mindset, thinking it's a zero sum game, into an abundance mindset where you believe there's value for both sides. Also, shift from a competitive stance to a curious one. Focus on understanding, and you'll open the door to more creative, successful outcomes.
How can you turn a no into a maybe or even a yes?
The key is to keep the conversation open and collaborative. Ask what specifically is causing the hesitation and see if you can adjust the terms or find a creative middle ground. Often a no is just a signal that more information or a small tweak is needed. So stay flexible, listen, and keep working toward a possible yes.
What role does timing play in negotiation success?
Timing is really critical. If you push too early, you might get a flat out no. If you wait too long, the momentum might fade. Reading the situation, knowing when to introduce your proposal or when to pause, can give you a huge advantage because the right timing often opens up better options.
How do you create win-win outcomes instead of win-lose situation?
To create win win outcomes, focus on interests, not just positions. Understand what each side truly needs, then brainstorm options that expand value so both parties feel like they gain something. Keep the conversation collaborative and keep long term trust in mind.
And what lessons can we learn from failed negotiations?
Failed negotiations are really valuable teachers. They help you see where you missed signals, what assumptions you made, or where you failed to prepare. Reflect on what went wrong. Was it timing, communication, or an unmet need? Then adjust your strategy next time and you'll keep getting better.
And if you could improve one negotiation habit today, what would it be?
I'd focus on active listening. If you can really commit to fully hearing the other person without planning your next response, you'll gain deeper insight, build trust faster, and steer the conversation toward a better outcome.
Thank you very much, GPT. It was a very useful conversation, and you really provided an excellent knowledge and information to me and to my colleagues. Hopefully, I will come back again with some new question, new subject soon. Until then, let me say bye and have a very wonderful day. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad it helped, and I'd love to chat again whenever you're ready. Take care, have a great day, and bye for now.